Hi guys, Tungsten here. So today we are going to look at this blaster, which is the BK1S over here. Now, I previously did a review on the BK2S, which is this smaller blaster over here. As you can see, they're more or less the same body. The main part of it is just that the BK1S has a longer barrel and of a different stock, right? So today we will look at the performance of this blaster itself, and then also FPS, and then my final thoughts about this blaster itself. Right, so first off, this blaster is on loan to me by Black Reason. Right, so I believe they're selling around $180 SGD, but I believe you have to check the latest price. I'm not too sure whether it's a pre-order price or things as such. So you do have to check it out from them. It is in Singapore dollars, so you have to do your own conversion to more or less gauge it how much it costs in your country itself. I believe they do ship internationally. Right, so this is what the blaster comes with. It comes with a box of darts, which you probably will not be using, and then it comes with a magazine itself. Again, just like the 2S, this magazine itself is not compatible with the worker magazine, so you do have to use their own type of magazine over here. It comes with two sets of rail this time around compared to the 2S. This 1S comes with two sets of rail. We can put it M-LOK system, we can put it on the side or at the bottom of it as well. Right, so yeah, so basically that is for the what it comes with. It doesn't come with the battery itself. The battery, you have to get this type of battery. This is the one that is provided by me. It is supposed to be fit inside the stock itself. Later we'll take a look at that as well. So it doesn't come with the LiPo battery, so you have to get it for this blaster itself. The connector is a XT30 over here, the smaller version of it. Can you focus? Yeah, right. Okay, so take note of that. Right, so the front portion of it, now this piece can be easily removed. You can just twist it and you can remove, and then of course you can fit in your own kind of scar barrel, and hopefully you do not need to make any modification. Hopefully this length is enough for you to just slot in your scar barrel, and that will be, to increase the accuracy of things. Right, for the FPS, I'm not going to include the so-called the scar barrel itself. I'm just going to use it as it is. Right, okay, so next of course is the how do you kind of fit in the battery itself. Over here you press this yellow button, you can only extend this much. Then if you take a closer look, there are this metal pin. You have it both sides. You have to pull it down both and then just remove it. Okay, so with the this metal pin itself, okay, you just need to pull it down all the way, then you can remove it. I thought this should be quite standard in a way. The stock itself is very plasticky, very thin. You probably, in the end of the day, you probably want to remove this, kind of replace this, if this is the first thing that you probably want to do if you want to have a better comfort. Right, so this is the main body itself, and here is the jam door as of the 2S itself, and you can see the internal bolt itself is not metal material, but I believe the gears are. And yeah, we will load in the battery and then we will see how it operates. Alright, so now that I've placed the battery into the blaster itself, the operation is actually pretty much similar to the BK2S, but I'm going to go through the operation again over here. Right, first, when you load the battery, you have to switch on the system. To do that, okay, to check, basically this charging handle is still, you cannot kind of pull it back because there's a bit of a resistance. Now to really switch it on, you go to 1, right, and you press the trigger 1. You should hear a beep 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 sound. Then that means the system is kind of on. Right, now when you first on the system, this is still kind of tough. You don't pull it back, and you don't need to pull it back, right, for the first time when you switch on the system. And you load the magazine itself, right, and then you press the trigger 1 and it will clock. This is clocking, right, and then in a single shot mode, which is 1 over here, then you press, you fire off. Okay, then you fire off again, right? So don't know whether you can see the darts coming out of this blaster itself. It's pretty fast. Now the other mode is basically you can pull the trigger, hold it there until you hear a beep sound, but when you press the trigger, of course you fire off one round, you hold it there. Okay, you hear a beep sound release, and this is going to be a double. It will be a burst fire of 2 shots if you press the trigger. Okay, as you can see over here, to return to the single shot mode, you have to press. Yes, you fire off 2 rounds and then hold it there and with the beep sound. Okay, now it returns to single shot. Okay, then this is a single shot again. For full auto, you can press all the way to the back. Okay, that will be full auto. Let's have a look. Okay, so that is roughly the so-called the rate of fire. Okay, and then of course you can put it back as safety. If you don't want to fire off, you can't pull the trigger anymore. Now it doesn't detect empty magazine or anything like that, so you do have to realize that you are out of ammo, and then of course you pull it out and then you reload. Now when you reload, assuming you have dust inside, now you don't need to press anymore. You can actually pull the charging handle because now it's already primed, right? So it's actually quite loose over here. You can actually pull back and then you spring it back, and then you can continue to fire off as a single shot, and then you can fire off, fire off, fire off. Right, so that's how it works, right? So at the end of the game, what you want to do is, of course, now every time you shoot is actually primed. That's why the charging handle is loose, right? But before we do that, let me just go through the jamming, right? So let me open it up, and let's assume there's a jam. Yeah, I'm going to pull the charging handle slightly back, all right? Something like that. Let's say there's a jam. When you press the trigger itself, it actually doesn't fire off. In fact, you have a toot 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 sound to indicate that there's a jam. Now, of course, you take out a magazine and you use your charging handle, declaw it a bit, use something to clear the jam, and then you load it up, back up again, and then you can continue to fire off. Right. So now, once you finish the game, now this blaster is considered prime because, like I say, this is loose because the spring itself is already kind of compressed. Now you want to store the blaster itself. What do you do? Okay, so in the single shot mode, fire off, hold it there. There's 1 beep. This is to change your mode. No, you don't let go. You just continue. You hear a second set of beeps. Okay, 2 beeps, and then you let go. Then this is going to be deprimed, and then you pull the charging handle. You realize that it's actually quite tough to do that because now the spring is being deprimed. And remove your battery, and this is how you should store your blaster, or else the spring will be compressed. That's not good for your blaster. Right, so that is basically the basic operation of this blaster, and we'll go for the FPS test, and then we'll see kind of my final thoughts on this. Alright, so now you have seen the FPS. The FPS is taken without the so-called any scar barrel involved. Okay, so that is if you apply the scar barrel, of course it will be slightly lower. The FPS will be slightly affected. Now, so the final thoughts, what do I think about this blaster itself? Now for the price point itself, I believe it's kind of reasonable. It does not have all the fancy functionality like dark counter, detect empty magazine, but of course this also reduces the complexity of using the blaster itself. So if you are a beginner kind of, you can still use this blaster without much of a problem. So far I've not experienced any jam, so that's a good thing for this version of it. I think this is a newer version of the BK, right? So that's a great improvement. And in terms of the barrel itself, I forgot to film the part whereby I took it out. But if you look at this BK2S, you realize no, the barrel itself, they do have a mechanism whereby no, they lock the barrel, so it might not be that easy to use your own set of barrel. That's something of a negative. And over here, the switch itself for this version is the same as the BK2. Is sometimes you might caught in between like this, which is not very good. I prefer, hopefully it will be a more secure kind of a tactile kind of switch whereby it fits there. Well, the stock is not the best of quality, but I guess you can still use it for a while, and most likely you have kind of compatible stock for the replacement, so that's not a big deal. If you want to change off the adapter, I believe there is some to do that. So all in all, for the price point of I think 180 SGD itself, I quite kind of like it. And if you were to ask me to choose between this and this, in fact I'll make the choice of having this, for the fact that I prefer the length of it. I think it's just nice for me. Okay, and this is a little bit too short for me. Yeah, so I prefer purely because I prefer the length of this guy over here. And yeah, it just operates, feels much kind of more comfortable in my opinion for my own usage. Right, so if you make a choice, I will go for this for the good length as well as a very slight improvement in terms of performance. So yeah, so that is more or less my conclusion on this blaster itself. Yeah, so it's really up to you, your application, how you want to play your game, and choose the right blaster for the right type of game. Yeah, so I'm Tungsten, thanks for watching, bye.